In this video, we are going to talk about Budhaditya Yoga, the Sun and Mercury conjunction in your chart, its effects and more. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. And if you're looking for readings and consultation, check out the link into the description section. This video will be in 3 parts. In the first part, we will talk about the yogas, how they are formed, how do we judge them, and all that stuff. In the second part, we'll talk about the exact combination of Sun and Mercury. And in the third part, we will talk about how do we judge the effects of these yogas, especially this Budhaditya Yoga. First is yogas. Yogas literally mean union. We have made a separate video on yoga. Yoga literally means union. In this context of the astrology, yoga literally means the conjunction or association of the planets and the lords. And how do they get associated? They get associated with the conjunction. They get associated with the aspect. They get associated with the exchange. And they get associated with, the Mahadasha or Nakshatra exchange, if we go into the deep level. But these 3 are the ways planets can get connected with each other. Okay, and that's what yoga is all about. If you read the yogas, you will often hear that. If you have the 5th lord is Kendra from the 6th lord, you will have this yoga. If you have the 1st lord is 9th from the 9th lord and is 10th from the or in Kendra from the moon. What is all this? This is nothing but the association of the planets and lords, and these creates yogas. So there are like thousands of yogas and we can hardly remember 5 to 10 yogas, let's say 100 yogas, but definitely not all of them. Okay. So yes, yoga is association of lords, planets and their effects. This is the part 1. In second part, let's talk about the effect of Budhaditya Yoga. Not effect, what is Budhaditya Yoga? What is Budhaditya Yoga? Budha is a word for Mercury, Aditya is the name of the Surya or Sun. So Budhaditya Yoga literally means, and you know what yoga means now, right? Yoga is association. Now Budhaditya Yoga is the association of Sun with the Mercury. And what kind of association? Usually when we see the yoga or Budhaditya Yoga, we mean Sun Mercury conjunction. Okay? Sun is the planet. The best quality about Sun is wherever he goes, he brings in light. He brings in consciousness. He brings in certain kind of awareness about wherever he goes. Right? That's why he is the planet of soul, is the planet of self, is the planet of consciousness. So whenever you have a planet associated with Sun, Sun is going to light that planet. And what happens when you have some light on an object or light on an subject or anything which gets lightened up? What happens with that? You can see that planet. You can see that thing, right? In the darkness, you cannot see. The moment there is light, you can see the things. That's what vision. That's what clarity. Sun brings in light. It lightens up the things, and then that brings in the clarity. That brings in the consciousness. Okay, this is who am I. That's what Sun does. He is associated with Mercury. What is the planet Mercury signifies? Mercury signifies the intelligence, networking skills, communication skills, and the command over the words, language. It helps in understanding the information, understanding the patterns. Mercury is a youthful energy and Sun is a kingly planet. right? And now this sun is giving light to this Mercury. If you read the classical text for this yoga, you will see that the person who is having this will be king and everything. He will be having elephants and all that things. So a person with the Budhaditya yoga is capable of attaining higher status, is capable of going high into their career, is capable of achieving the status, achieving the authority, is also able to get rise in the career. Okay, so this is the effect of Sun and Mercury conjunction and Budhaditya. Let's say you have Sun and Mercury conjunction into the first house. What it shows is now you have to look for all the lordships and you have to see how it is going to manifest through your personality, the first house. Whatever I have observed is this placement, this conjunction works best through 1, 4, 7, 10, 5, 9, more so the first house and the 10th house, where Sun or Mercury gets the strength. Okay, so this is about the strength, but you also have to look for the degrees of this conjunction. Let's say this is the 30 degrees of the Rashi. Okay, let's say you have Sun here at say 5 degrees at the beginning of the Rashi, or say 2 degrees at the beginning of the Rashi, and you have Mercury placed in at the 28 degrees of the same Rashi. So it's like it is moving away from the Sun. Okay, so you won't experience this Budhaditya yoga, you won't experience this conjunction, you won't experience these effects. Now let's say if it is close, then you will experience the best possible outcome of this conjunction. But there is more to it. What happens when it gets too close to it? When it goes too close to it, it gets overwhelmed, it gets it gets burned, and so it is not able to give its best results. Okay, we have shared the combustion of the planet. We have made a separate video on the combustion of the planet. You can go and watch that video as well. But that's how you have to look. We see the conjunction when it is apart, when it is away from each other. The most critical thing for you is the ascendant degree. Let's say you have Sun into the sign of Aries and in the first few degrees of the Aries, and Mercury is somewhere at the end of the Aries. Okay, and your ascendant is at the 5 degrees of the Aries. Then what will happen is in a Bhava Chalit chart, your Mercury will go to other Bhava. Okay, and again I have made a separate video on how to look for the Bhava Chalit and the yogas. You can go and watch that. But that's how you have to look for the conjunction. For the conjunction, the most important thing is the degrees. Then whether it is closely degree, whether it is a close degree or a loose degree, like it is almost changing the signs, right? Degrees becomes critical into the conjunction. Always have to focus on the degrees of the planet in the conjunction. Okay, because degrees will also change the padas and also change the nakshatra and all those things. That's how we look for the conjunction of Sun and Mercury and Budhaditya yoga. Next, if you look at the Sun and Mercury, they are never away from each other for more than 3 rashis. They are always close to each other. So in a way, this yoga is a very common yoga. Almost 1/3 of the population might have this yoga. Okay, but this doesn't mean that everybody will be king. It is not possible. Okay, then how do we judge that? But in my experience, whatever I have seen this yoga in many successful people, highly reputed people, or people who have accomplished something in their life. And I have seen that, and I have seen this yoga into the people who are, lack confidence, are not capable of making any mark into the world. All sorts of people, because this is a very common yoga. We have to understand that. Just because you have this yoga doesn't make you a king. Then what is that which makes it king? Okay. Here we have to understand. Now the technical part is going to start. How to judge the Budhaditya yoga, right? There are two parts to it. First is the lordship of the Sun and Mercury. Okay, you have to look for the lordship of the planet. Let's say you have Sun and Mercury into the 10th house, into the house of career, right? But they are into the sign of, let's say, Mars, where Sun is getting exalted, or they are into the sign of Virgo, where Mercury is getting exalted, or they are into the sign of Capricorn and Saturn is getting exalted somewhere, right? So you have to judge this combination with the lordship of the planets, with aspects of other planets onto these conjunctions. Okay, then you will know what exactly is happening, and whether this Mercury Sun conjunction is of a fine quality or higher quality, or if it is working from a lower plane. What do I mean by that? Let's say you have Sun is exalted into the 10th house, which makes it Cancer ascendant. Let's say you have Cancer ascendant and Sun is into the 10th house of your horoscope with Mercury, right? And now you have to see the placement of Mercury into the Navamsha. You have to look for the placement of Mars into your D1 chart. That will determine the strength of this yoga. For the Sagittarius ascendant, I have seen this conjunction working at its highest level, because it is ruling the 9th house and the 10th house. Okay. For other ascendant, it might be working well from the higher plane, but for that you have to analyze all that lordship, the significations, then conjunction aspects on the lords as well as on this conjunction. Okay, all these things you have to analyze. Then you can come to some conclusion whether this Budhaditya yoga is having a strength, or it is just a Sun Mercury conjunction. The best placement for this conjunction or this yoga is 1, 4, 7, 10, the Kendra house, and the 5, 9, the Trine house. So if you have got value from this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Please share this video with your friends and family, sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. And if you want to dive deep into Vedic astrology, these two videos on your screen will help you to do the same. Sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes, love and peace.